It's Thursday, October 29th, 2020. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Share this channel with everybody you know, don't know. Blast it all over your social media. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And if you have already subscribed, hit that bell notification button down below. Also, make sure that you join my Patreon channel. If you're having a hard time finding it, just go to my link down below. Go to my website, link down below, jeremiahbabe.com. On the website, you will find the link to the Patreon channel. Check it out. I'll be putting up another video this weekend. And we're going to be talking about more real life events, preparation, what's happening socially, politically. So make sure you check that out. But let's talk about right now, right here, today. I want to recap on these markets. Markets across the board closed in the positive. Dow Jones up 139 points. But, it always amazes me that these markets can even go up on a day like today, and I'll tell you why. We got the new jobless claims today, and they came in at 757,000. That's how many people filed first-time unemployment claims last week. 757,000 people right here in the United States of America. I watched a couple of the business channels today. Nobody even talking about it. Like 757,000 job losses. The market shouldn't have been up 139 points today. It should have been down a couple thousand points. But this is the fantasy land that we're in. This is the twilight zone that we're in, that we can lose another 757,000 jobs. And these numbers are probably manipulated. It's probably over 1 million. But let's just take 757,000. That's horrendous. These markets should have been absolutely crucified today if they were real, if they weren't controlled. But then we have the president, and I'm not criticizing the president one bit at all, but when he comes out and vows massive stimulus after the election, this is going to influence the markets. We got a little bounce from tech stocks today, but overall, after what we've seen the last few days, we didn't get much of a bounce at all. With this optimism from the president, with the tech bounce, up 139 points on the Dow, not a whole lot. But, think about where we're at. People are just going to continue buying $1,200 and $1,500 phones, $2,000 phones. The question is, are they going to have a job in order to pay for all this, to pay for the services, to pay for the phones, to pay for the $3,000 iMacs? Where's the money going to come from? We're not going to see stimulus this year. People we're bleeding jobs. People see nothing but uncertainty out there. Who is going to have a job left if we keep losing this amount of jobs on a weekly basis? I mean, this has been going on for 8 months, ladies and gentlemen. And it's really, really frightening. Record-breaking GDP growth leaves U.S. economy in the same place as the height of the Great Recession. Reading an article today, this was on Drudge. Chief economist at Oxford Economics, Gregory Dacko. He says this: U.S. GDP jumped 33.1%, a growth of 7.4% from the second quarter. This growth is record-breaking, and at the same time, it's meaningless. Remember, we had record contraction from the first quarter to the second quarter, and a total loss of 10.3% throughout 2020. So it doesn't even come close to making up what was lost. In fact, the 3.5% total GDP shrinkage, we had a total 3.5% shrinkage in GDP during 2020. This means we're still down almost as much as we were during the height of the Great Recession. Consumer spending this year down 3.3%. Business investment down 4.9%. Exports down 15.3%. Imports down 7.1%. But federal spending is up 2.6%, and it's going to go up a lot more. So, when you take into account what's really happening, some of the business shows will tell you that, this is great news, and some of them will tell you that it isn't great news. So, you're going to have to make up your own mind here. But again, you got to look at the contraction that we had in the second quarter. So of course, we're going to see record-breaking GDP third quarter, but what we need to see is 4 quarters of record-breaking GDP in order to get a real true number here. Walt Disney laying off over 700 entertainers. That's all over the news today. Exxon announces additional job cuts amid ongoing infection hitting this oil demand. Oil and gas, no doubt, is feeling the pain. Oil today is a little bit over $36 a barrel. This is not good for the oil and fracking business. You look at Texas, especially, the amount of oil companies and fracking companies that have filed bankruptcy. Look at the bankruptcies across America in the energy sector. It's horrifying. It's very, very concerning. And we're looking at $36 oil today. Not good news if you're working in the energy sector. Expect more bankruptcies and expect more layoffs in closures in the energy sector. This is not going to be good for the economy, ladies and gentlemen. We look at the 28,000 people laid off at Disneyland, ExxonMobil laying off people. We're looking at the energy sector, really not heading in the right direction, in my opinion, here. Wolfstreet.com, unlock shareholder value. Job cuts at Boeing to reach 30,000. Commercial airplane revenue down 56%. I mean, look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This gives me no feeling of satisfaction to report to you what's really happening, but I feel that I have a duty to report reality to all of you. And look, most of you already know what's going on. I'm just reinforcing with you what is really taking place in this economy, what's happening politically, what's happening socially. $43 billion incinerated on share buybacks since 2012 to manipulate up the share price with Boeing. This would have come in handy right now, as shares are down 60% since June of 2019. Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun says, we anticipate a workforce of about 130,000 employees by the end of 2021. They're expecting to get rid of 19,000 employees this year and another 11,000 in 2021. When we look at Boeing, we look at the balance sheet here. They have a net loss of $466 million this year. Cash burn third quarter, $5.3 billion. Total debt right now, $63 billion. Cash on hand, they do have $27 billion of cash on hand, but they can burn through that extremely fast. Deliveries of commercial planes, 28 planes were delivered in the third quarter. That's down from 62 planes from a year ago. Year to date, 98 planes have been delivered, down from the 301 planes a year ago. So they can burn through that cash extremely quick. They're having to borrow a lot of money, and they have a lot of debt. Shares have plunged 60% since they stopped the practice of buybacks back in the second quarter of 2019. So, we start beginning to see reality when things can't be manipulated, or they can't be papered over, or companies can't buy back their own shares to jack up their stock prices. CNBC today, here's why you're not getting a $1,200 stimulus check before Election Day. Main reason, well, one of the main reasons is the Senate has recessed until November 9th. But in all reality, the Senate and the House were so far apart from an agreement, it was never going to happen, recess or not. So this means that the next stimulus bill will most likely not pass before the election. And the earliest now that we're going to see negotiations, the earliest that they even go back to negotiations would be January. And so, it makes you think, like, what's going to happen with holiday shopping, the economy heading into the fourth quarter here. So many retailers and businesses depend, and so many people, side hustles depend on the holidays and shopping. And it's just going to push everybody to buy online, but people are not going to have the money. They're not even going to have a stimulus check to even help them out. And so I think this is going to quite possibly, I'd be shocked if it's not one of the worst Christmas seasons in our history. it's so sad that, I remember growing up and looking forward to going to the mall, going to Marshall Fields, going downtown to the Gold Coast and looking at all the store windows, all decorated with Christmas decorations and the Santa Clauses. And it was just a real event, right? It was just a really great experience, especially being a kid growing up. And how many kids now are never going to experience that? People are too afraid to leave their homes. People are going broke financially. They just don't have the means to go out and shop like they once did. The credit cards are being pushed to the limit. And so the whole experience is being wiped out. And in doing so, people aren't getting out. They're not going to the malls. They're not going to the retailers. And we're just going to see more decimation with these businesses. It's really, really sad because you lose the whole experience. And, people just stay at home on their computer, get more dumbed down, more lazy, more obese. And instead of actually, I used to enjoy just going to the mall, walking around as a kid, just getting out, going for a drive, going to the mall, walking around with my family. And the holiday was just a really great experience. And people just don't do that now. And that's why they just get lazier, more dumbed down, and more obese. But, the economy is going to pay a huge price here because I guess if we're all going to sit at home and just order everything online, we might as well shut down every store. I don't know where the tax revenue is going to come from. I don't know what we're going to do with all this vacant real estate. Pretty soon people won't even go out to eat. They'll just have it delivered to their house, I guess, because they're just so lazy. So we won't even need restaurants. It's just really a sad state of affairs. TradingNation.com, brace for a fairly scary time on Wall Street, Wells Fargo warns. There was a gentleman from Wells Fargo, and he was talking about some of the things that are going to affect this market. Of course, we're seeing a rebound in this infection, whether you want to believe it or not. The bottom line is it is going to affect the economy because you now have, again, cities and states shutting down. My area shutting down, restaurants, no indoor dining, barbershops, hair salons, gyms, etc., all shut down. We have this election, 4 or 5 days ahead now, and the question is, are we going to get the results that night, or will they be delayed, and for how long, and what will this do to the markets? If things get really crazy, chaotic, and violent, nobody's leaving their house because of this infection, and nobody's going to leave their house because of the fear of violence. What is this going to do to business? What is this going to do to the markets? More deficit spending and more debt is a guarantee. So, and you can add more uncertainty. So again, to close this video, the markets don't care about you or I. They don't care about profits. They don't care about the retailers. They don't care about the small, medium businesses. They don't care about Main Street. These markets are waiting for stimulus. They are waiting for another Fed injection. They're waiting for more stimulus. Everything right now, I mean, look today. We're only up 139 points. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But it's even shocking that we're up, losing over 750,000 jobs. We have a jobless crisis in America. We're going to see our homeless crisis go nuclear here very, very soon. Remember, we got 4 million homes in forbearance. We've got millions of people in rent moratoriums. 40 million people could be evicted. That's highly unlikely, but just take a percentage of that. What if it's 5 million or 10 million out of that 40 million? This is going to be catastrophic on this economy. It's going to be catastrophic socially here in America. We are going to see a homeless boom coming to America. We talk about booms. I don't see an economic boom other than stimulus and Fed injections. That's the only thing that can keep the bubbles going. But I do see a homeless boom coming. I see a jobless boom coming. And I think 2021 is going to be a very, very scary year for America because we are going to eventually see all this fallout from all these business closures this year. We're going to see the fallout from these forbearances. We're going to see the fallout from the rent moratoriums. We're going to see the fallout from the auto loan forbearances. How about the forbearances with college tuition? Eventually, this is all going to expire. Can they extend it? Yes. But the more they extend it, the harder the pain, the more severe the pain is going to be at the end of the day. We are now just kicking the can farther and farther down the road, and sooner or later, America, we're going to hit a dead end, and there's nowhere to kick the can. Make sure you continue all preparations. Make sure you're buying assets. SD Bullion, link down below if you're looking to buy gold or silver. I don't care where you buy it from, but I do believe you should own some. Share this video with everybody. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell notification. Check out my Patreon. God bless America. God bless all of you, and walk close to God. Talk to you soon.